Okay, guys, let's see who we've got here. We'll just open up the doors. There we go. Okay, today we start our new unit, which is sports medicine. And we're going to learn about sports medicine for nutrition. And, oh, one sec, I will be right back. I just have to go grab something. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so this is the workbook that you guys should have. So Sport Nutrition Level 1 workbook. So the goal is after this, you guys actually get accreditation in sports nutrition, okay? So we're gonna go through sports nutrition. Now, part of the problem with this, there is a bit of a problem because I've never taught this before, which is fine. I've done a lot of work on nutrition. What you need for the SMCA, so the Sports Medicine Council of Alberta, is all in this book. But what you need for the program of studies, which is the curriculum that I'm responsible for teaching, is more. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the canned sports medicine notes that I have, and then I'm going to modify those as we need to, so I can add the stuff that's in the curriculum for you guys. Okay, so we can kind of go through that and hopefully get both done. So the goal here is to be completely done everything. My marks are due on the 19th, so we'll be done everything hopefully by the 18th, and then you'll have a bit of a window to write your final for this course. And then we're done, and you guys can get your credit for this and move on. And I think if I'm looking at the list here, everyone on the list that's here today will get their 5 credits. Okay, so that's fantastic. You guys have all been working really, really hard. You've been getting your stuff in, and you have no worries about getting your credits for everything. Okay, so this is it. This is our last big push. So really we have about 2 weeks, give or take, 2 weeks plus a bit to get through this, which we will. And then that will be it. And you guys can go into your summer. As my son calls it, we're sort of in a fake summer right now where you still have this workload over your head. And then we'll have a real summer where actually they might start opening stuff up a little bit more, so we have more opportunity to be with other people. Okay, that being said, the first thing I want us to do to start this off, so what I just sent you, so you might not have got it, is I've suggested that you have this in front of you, because as we go through the PowerPoint, you're going to see that a lot of the blanks can be filled out or are to be filled out with the PowerPoint. So when I look here on this very first sheet, it says, what is a calorie? A calorie or kilocalorie is a measurement of, and we see that there's some blanks there. All of those blanks are filled with a PowerPoint. Okay, so you can either do it as we go through it, or you can do it later, but then you have these blanks filled, and then you have something you can use to do all your tests. Because of course all your tests with remote learning are open book anyway, so you'll have your open book test, and then you have your book right in front of you in order to do that. All right, so for all of these lessons, until we finish this booklet, I would recommend having the booklet in front of you. Okay, so first we're going to start off with just a little quiz. So I'll be doing chats here to, yes, I don't know what that means. If you can do a thumbs up, so we're going to do a true-false quiz. I'm just going to, I can't make this say anything but yes now. Weird. We're going to be doing a true-false quiz, and on chat, I just want you to type in true or false. That's it. And then we'll go through what the correct answers are. So I will share this little quiz with you. This is already shared also on my Google Classroom. So we'll just do a little quiz as a little intro to what we're doing here. All right. Whoops, got this going already. Share. I just want to open this up. Okay, so what we're doing right now, this whole new module here is Nutrition for Recreation Activities and Sports. The course number is Rec 2010. And introduction quiz. Okay, so true or false? Carbohydrates found in grains, fruits, and vegetables are an important source of energy for your body. So there's 6 of you out there. Just type in a true or a false. What do you think? Okay, 4 out of the 6 gave me an answer. 5 out of the 6, nice. All right, yes, it is true. Okay, carbohydrates found in grains, fruits, and vegetables are an important source of energy for your body. Okay, so let's just see what the reasoning is behind that. Okay, so it is true, so good on all of you guys. So the best fuel for muscles during exercise are carbs. So that's our body's #1 source of energy is our stored carbohydrates, okay? And we store our carbohydrates in a form that's called glycogen, okay? So when our body has more carbohydrates than what it can use, it stores the carbohydrates in this form. You can kind of think of this as animal starch. So we know carbohydrates are stored in plants as starch. They're stored in animals as glycogen. And they're not stored everywhere. They're just stored in our muscle and in our liver, okay? So when we eat carbohydrates, if we eat more than we're going to use, then they get stored as glycogen. But if we overeat our carbohydrates and we fill up all the storage spots for glycogen, then it starts getting stored as fat, okay? When our body starts to do exercise, the first thing that it's going to do is it's going to use up all of the stores in the glycogen. That's our first place our body goes for energy. Place 2 is our fat stores, and then place 3 is our protein stores. Do you guys know how our body stores protein? In what form? So what organ we store protein in? Does anyone have an idea? They can type in chat. Right? Our protein is stored in our muscle. So our muscle is basically protein. That's where our body stores it. So if our body runs out of glycogen, our stored carbohydrates, runs out of fat, and then where's it going to go for energy? It's going to go to our muscle, and it's going to start breaking down our muscle for an energy source. Okay. All right. Just keep going. Oops. If athletes don't eat a diet high in carbohydrates, so 45 to 65% of their total calories, they could run out of fuel, right? And then they just get completely exhausted while they're doing a workout or playing a game or what have you. Okay, question 2. True or false? I'll get you to type in your answer. Very high amounts of protein in the diet help increase the amount of muscle you have. True or false? Got 1 answer, 2 answers, 3 answers, 4 answers. Just do a T or an F. You don't have to write the whole word. 4. Got 2 abstaining maybe. Okay. This is false. All right. Just because you go out of your way to have a whole bunch of protein in your diet doesn't automatically mean you're going to have a whole lot of muscle, right? Those don't correlate with one another. Okay, so this is in fact false. So the only way to build muscle and increase your strength is to exercise and eat food from all of the food groups to meet your energy needs. Okay, so if we're just focusing on protein, that's not automatically going to give us muscle. We actually have to exercise for our body to see the need to make muscle, right? If you're eating excessive amounts of protein, it could mean that you are depriving yourself of carbs, and carbs is what gives you energy. If you don't have enough carbs and you don't have fat to feed you the energy, then your body's going to actually break down your muscle in order to provide that energy. Okay, so this could actually decrease your ability to build muscle. So it's really important that we make sure that we're meeting our dietary needs from all of the food groups. Okay, question 3. True or false? A fat-free diet is good for your health. Okay, we got 2, we got 3. 5 people answering. Okay, let's see where we're at. Yes, false. Good job, you guys. That is in fact false. Okay, we have to have fat in our diet. Okay, so fat actually helps to make our brain. So babies and young children who are deprived of fat in their diet through malnutrition actually may not have proper brain formation. Their brain may not develop properly. So it's used in our spinal cord, nerves, our cell membranes, right? In Science 10, you guys learn about the phospholipid bilayer, where that lipid part is fat. So we need fat in order to make our cell membranes. It helps us to absorb fat-soluble vitamins. So we have 2 different categories of vitamins: fat-soluble, they dissolve in fat, and then water-soluble, they dissolve in water. Our fat-soluble ones aren't going to do anything unless there's fat in our body. It provides essential fatty acids. So if our body can't make it, we get that from eating fat. Fat increases our level of satiation, and satiation means our satisfaction with the food we eat. So often we'll see something as fat-free, well, to make it taste better, then sugar's added. Or if it's sugar-free, then fat is added. Because when companies sell a product, they want it to taste good, right? Approximately 20 to 35% of our daily caloric intake should be from fat. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm saying go out and have 10 Big Macs every day, because that's increasing that daily caloric intake much higher than that. So you do want to read the labels, but we can have low-fat versions that still provide us with enough fat in our diet. We just don't want to go to 0 fat, okay? We get healthy fats. So fats that cause our bad cholesterol to be high are fats that usually come from meat sources. Healthy fats, vegetable oils, fish, particularly fish that gives us omega-3s, because those actually work. So that's like salmon. So any kind of oily sort of fish is good for us because it actually helps reduce how much bad cholesterol we have. Bad cholesterol clogs our arteries. Nuts, seeds, avocados, all of those are healthy forms of fat to keep our fat intake up. Okay. All right, next, question 4, true or false? Lack of fluids can impair athletic performance. Okay. Let's look at this. And true. Nicely done, you guys. Okay. So we think about athletic performance, dehydration, even as much as 2% weight loss. So if we lose 2% of our weight because of losing fluids, can impair our performance. Okay. For every pound of weight loss during a workout, replace it with 2 to 3 cups of water. So we want to always, if we're sweating a lot, we want to always be replacing that with water. So most people can use water to rehydrate. But if you're doing strenuous exercise, so you're just going through a crazy workout, and it's like a 60 to 90-minute workout, you should go beyond water, and you should supplement that with some kind of carbohydrate source, okay? So you could use a sport drink. Sport drinks are very high in sugar, so that optimizes that. Or have a yogurt or have a piece of fruit, but having some source of carbohydrates to get that energy level back up, okay? So the water is rehydrating the water that we've lost, but we also want to have something else to keep our energy source high, okay? Your pre-performance meal will have the biggest impact on your performance. So we want to highlight that word biggest, true or false. So what you eat before you go out for your competition will have the biggest impact. Ooh, look at people on a fence for this one. Oh, no, one person willing to take a risk here. 2, 3. Let's see where we're at. Yes. The question's not maybe worded the best here. I got this. It's a canned quiz that I got from someplace, but it won't have the biggest impact. So just because you have the best pre-workout, that doesn't mean you're going to have the best performance, because maybe you're just not prepared. So eating really well isn't going to be a substitute for your preparation for your performance. Okay. All right. So let's just take a look here. All right, so false. So the energy for your race, game, training depends on the food choices you make on a regular basis. So first of all, one meal isn't going to be the thing. Like if you eat potato chips for 6 days straight, and then this day we're going to have the best meal ever right before I train, that's not going to have a big impact. We're looking at regularly eating healthily. Your performance also depends largely on how well you've trained, right? Are you prepared for this performance? Okay, so while it's important to eat healthy, it has to be done on a regular basis, and you have to be prepared. Okay, next question. After or during a long event, so an event that goes longer than 90 minutes, having small amounts of a sports drink often or another carb source and water will help performance. Okay, alrighty, let's take a look here. Yes, that is very true. Okay, so it's good to interrupt or take a quick break and have something to take something in. Now, we sort of teach that. Probably a lot of you, when you're little, played soccer. All the little 5-year-olds tend to play soccer, right? And we always have the snack parent that brings the snack, whether it's a yogurt or a piece of fruit or something. Not that you've really worked out a lot to need that when you're a 5-year-old playing soccer, but it does get us in the habit that it's okay to have a little snack in between the times that we're very active. Okay, so that is true. So long events, so again, it uses up all of your glycogen, right? And you get dehydrated. So replenishing your water and getting yourself something. And if you don't want to eat anything because you're doing such vigorous activity, then having it in a sports drink is okay, because you're burning it anyway and you need to replenish what's been lost. Okay. All right. After exercise, rehydration is a top priority. Whoops, I will be right back. My computer